This week on Goofing Off.
Clayton pays tribute to a Marvel legend.
Matt Reed delves into Overlord.
All this and more on Goofing Off. Hello everyone and welcome back to Goofing Off. I'm Drew Brown. Becka, wake up. We have a show to do.
No, I want to go back in the void. 5 more minutes.
Becka, if you wake up, I'll buy you food.
All right, on that note, I'm Becka Tyler. Now, let's kick this episode off with Drew's Magic Huntin' dynamic duo, reviewing and playing Red Dead Redemption 2.
All right, everybody. So, I'm joined today by Collin of Magic Strawberry fame today on Drew's Huntin' because we both had a similar interest today. We're playing Red Dead Redemption 2 because you can hunt in it, I guess. There's animals.
You can, yeah, you can. There's hunting mechanics and stuff, and you can hunt.
It's great. Yeah. Look, see, there's an animal right there. That's a Pokemon.
That's
It's a goat.
Goat? Yeah, it's a
That's
goat.
a big boy.
It's a big. Yep. It's there'd be a deer.
A reindeer? Oh, it's an elk.
It's
I think?
It's an elk. Is it?
I think so.
What's the difference?
I don't know. Elks are big and furry.
It's got antlers.
There's my horse and me? No, it's a bald guy.
Yeah.
I'm not bald. Arthur's not bald.
He's not bald. You can make him bald if.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I got his haircut.
Yeah.
But to preface this, I've played a little bit into this. Colin's beaten it.
I've beaten it.
I've played a little bit. I've hunted once. It was a big bear. I almost died. It's true. There I am. Me.
There. We're
it's
at
me,
camp.
Arthur, hanging out with the boys.
Oh, I liked your outfit of choice here.
Yeah, I got my jacket and my hat.
I like the base hat, and I also like the jacket. It's like nothing else I wore.
Who's this guy? Kieran?
I feel like chopping it.
Hey, Kieran. Oh, you got an
Oh no. Do I want to overwrite the data? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll overwrite the data.
Overwrite that data.
We'll all be watching you.
We'll all be. Oh, that's the guy. That's the guy we picked up
from the
beginning. The beginning of the story. Yeah, the O'Driscolls. All right.
There it is.
All right. So we're gonna break out the legendary animal map.
So, I know there's a cougar in a cave somewhere.
What is this? Oh.
Can you zoom in?
Where am I at? On this map? This is not doing me anything. How do I flip it over?
Well,
wow.
There's nothing there.
Great. Where's my horse?
Is this Collin Long himself?
There he is. Collin Long.
Punch him in the face.
I'm not punching my horsey. I'm not punching you, Collin. In fact, you know what, Collin? See, I'll pat you on the side.
Oh, thanks.
Let me get off.
Don't punch.
I'm gonna
feed it an apple.
I'm gonna study. I'm gonna study Collin Long. Look at my info.
He's a Palomino?
Yeah, he's a Palomino.
Palomino.
He's really quick. He's pretty good.
No, this is a cheap one.
Yeah,
it's like $15.
Yeah, it was the $15, the Walmart special.
I got the $400 one.
Can I get on this horse? Oh, please. I'm gonna feed him. I'm gonna feed you a biscuit, Collin.
Feed me a biscuit. Aww.
Here's your oatmeal cracker. All right, let's go.
Let's go hunt some deer. Did you?
What is going on over there?
Did you store the skin on the horse?
Wait, I gotta figure out what's going on over here. What happened? I'm gonna kill this guy.
Oh my
God. that deer took like 10 shots. This guy was hurting somebody, I think.
You shot him straight in the head.
I think this guy was hurting somebody. Is he okay?
I think he was just minding his own business.
He was shooting at something. Oh, I'm sorry.
He could have been shooting at nothing.
Wait, is this an O'Driscoll? Oh, no, it's not. It's just a stranger.
He's Mexican. He's not Irish.
Oh, the O'Driscolls are Irish?
Yeah. They're an Irish gang.
Am I swapping my hat? No, I don't want I want that hat. I want my hat.
You're wearing a sombrero now.
I want my hat.
There you go.
Excuse me. No, I don't want to rob him. What did I just do?
Oh,
I just ran over a rabbit. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry.
You heard everything you touch.
Collin, how could you do that? You ran over a rabbit with your big hooves.
The horse only goes where you lead it.
The horse has its own free will. It can do what it wants.
Not really. When you're riding a horse, it kind of just does what you want it to do.
That's its own problem. Hi-ho.
Yep.
Oh, it's a hill.
Sometimes if you ride slowly and nothing happens for a while, he will just sing to himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
He's the rootinest, tootinest cowboy in the wild, wild west.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Oh, there's some goats. Can I run them over?
You can try.
Okay, let's try.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, I could! I could!
Oh.
I didn't think I would be able to do that.
Oh,
no, I'm sorry, sir.
Sir.
You're doing good, Collin. Get up the hill, get up the hill.
It's just goats mind their own business. And
I didn't know I could run the goat. Like a rabbit's plausible, but this goat. Okay, I need to pay attention.
Hey, move it.
hey, move it.
Oh, I got mad. This is a dangerous path. Oh no.
Listen, we don't want to fall off this mountain here.
Collin, get back on the path. Collin. All right, we're good. Woo! I need to take it slow. Crisis averted. I was gonna say hi. Are they hunting for the elk?
Oh,
too?
you're in it now. Let's track. All right, there's tracks up there.
What do you mean? Focus on. Oh wait, you're right.
Yeah, let's track it. You should be able to see it on the ground.
What's that campfire? You see it on the ground?
Yeah, see.
Oh, hey, yeah, you're right. Is the elk gonna hurt me?
Well, I can't imagine it's gonna take too kindly to you trying to kill it.
Well, is that it? Oh no. Oh, there's like 10 of them.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, it's probably gonna be the bigger one. That might be it.
Is that it?
I think so. That's
it.
a wolf.
That's an elk.
Did it die?
It just fell down
It
this
just
hill.
Fell.
All right, I guess I killed it.
Is that it? It's fall.
It's rolling down this hill. I'm standing on this.
Don't look very legendary. I don't think that's it.
I don't think it is either, but I'm gonna skin it anyway.
Otherwise, it'd be like, congrats, you killed a legendary elk.
Does it do that? Because you killed one more legendary. I can't. It's stuck on this tree. Can I like kick it?
Switch to first person.
What?
Oh.
Poor elk pelt. This is not the elk I'm looking for.
No, that's not it.
I'm sorry.
Where do we start?
All right. Well, that's a like 90-degree angle. Let's go this way.
We're not getting up this mountain.
You're right.
Oh.
We're climbing back down.
Be careful.
It's all right. I'm an expert.
You're clearly not. You fell off the first time.
No, Collin, don't doubt me. Oh no, Collin.
Oh, you're falling again.
Collin, don't doubt.
Oh.
See, he's back up. Arthur is a good boy. He knows what's up.
Oh.
Arthur, he knows what's up.
Arthur, it's the klutz.
Is that it? Up there? Is that him?
It might be. I think it is. Ever so carefully. It is. It said it.
Should I get close?
I would. Maybe shoot it in the face.
With my carbine, or should I think use a shotgun?
Use a carbine.
Okay.
It's got further range.
You think so?
Yeah. Ooh. Shoot again. Go. No, we lost it.
Come back.
No.
I'm coming for him.
Go get it.
I'm coming.
Come on.
I'm coming for it.
It's running off. Collin ran off too.
Come
on.
Come back.
It ran
Arthur,
that way.
Arthur, get up the hill.
Arthur. We shot it in the face.
You even saw its head like recoil. That must have hurt.
It took it like a champ. It ran.
Did. It did.
Do we? No. I thought that was the sound of the elk for a second. The train.
That was the train?
Did it fall? No, it's not.
It was standing like right there.
No. No.
No, we'll find it. This is cool. It really feels like I'm hunting.
Yeah, the hunting.
That's him.
You don't feel like you get engrossed into hunting as much as you do, but you really do. Yeah!
Yeah! We got it! We got him! We did it! What's up?
What's up, elk?
Wow! He's huge!
That's a big boy.
Wow!
Oh my!
Look at the antlers on that thing. Can I skin it? Can I skin him?
Yeah, we can skin it. Man, it's all white and stuff.
Yeah, it's like albino elk.
Man.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's like a king-size quilt I just took off this thing.
We gotta take
this. Took Arthur like 8 hours. I have the antlers. Oh no, look at them. Oh, now I feel bad.
Yeah.
All right, Colin. Ready to carry all of this? We gotta get home. Back to camp. Make a right.
So how far, like, hours-wise? Like, how many hours are you in the game?
Not many. I don't remember. I've been doing a lot of side missions.
So do you think you played, like, 5 hours, 10?
Probably 5.
So one thing I didn't like is that it took me a good, like, 15 to 20 hours into the story for it to, like, really...
That's a lot of hours. I'm only a third of the way there.
For it to really get... It's like 60 hours.
60 hours?
50 to 60 hours. And
That's like 60% of Persona 3.
So like a quarter of it is like build up. And that's one thing I didn't like. But once it does get going, it's a really like...
Oh no, it's getting dark.
Compelling narrative. Once you get over that first hump.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty good so far, I think. I like the narrative.
Do you like all the mundane elements in the game too? Like
what do you mean?
Like the survival mechanics? And
I've never been one for survival mechanics.
It's like light survival mechanics, so.
But yeah, I mean the lights. Oh man, where am I at? I'm gonna need to set up camp. But no, we'll just cruise on home. We'll stay on this path.
The camp cook, he like makes stew. You eat it, and it like tastes good apparently.
Does it?
Maybe.
What kind of stew?
It's like it's like old-fashioned stew. There's like carrots and bits of meat in there,
that's
like
delicious.
and celery. And...
I want to have some. If only we had a cooking show.
Mon, come back.
Mon, please come back and make us old Wild West stew that probably tastes good at best.
Make some more of that strawberry cake. I didn't get to have any.
You didn't? Oh, I'm sorry, Colin. I should have given you some.
Did we have some still?
No, I ate it all.
Oh.
If I let it sit for more than 2 hours, the strawberries would have gone.
Just put it in the fridge.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Whoa. We got company.
I can't see anything.
Oh. Just shoot.
Okay, we're gonna hide behind a rock.
Oh no! Arthur died.
The O'Driscolls!
The O'Driscolls.
They got me!
Those Irish.
Well, where are we at?
So, they took our money. Did they take our pelt?
I lost a lot of money.
We did.
Colin? My pelt!
Where's the pelt?
Oh no.
Visit the nearest trapper.
Wait, I abandoned visit the nearest fence and trapper. So I can still access like the stuff they can make with the thing.
But we don't have the pelt.
But I lost the pelt.
Let's go talk to Dutch and hear his...
Yeah, I want to hear Dutch's Arthur
succulent voice. Audible.
I'm running in. Who's that? Is that Arthur? No, it's not. All right. Well, we got double rainbow. Sit next to my boy, clipping right into him.
Yeah. How close we are.
Look at that.
Friends.
Look at that. Oh no.
And the camp is one of my favorite aspects of the game because you can pitch in and you can like upgrade some of the camp and you can.
Can you? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's like a thing around here where you can pitch in money and you can use the camp funds to like upgrade parts of the camp. And it's like it's a little family you got going on. It's like
it's true.
It's the aspect you didn't have in first game.
Look at that. Well, Colin, you have anything else to say about the game?
Well, I can talk more about the camp, I guess.
All right, talk more about the camp, because
like
I just want to end on this double rainbow.
And sometimes it'll just randomly talk to you. You can have conversations, and like
I did that a second ago.
One of them will be like, "Hey, want to go hunting?" And you're like, "Yeah," and then you go hunting, and then sometimes they play poker. You play poker with them, or 5-finger fillet, and that's Strauss. He like wants you to go out and get depths from people.
Oh, I already have that quest.
Yeah, there's like several.
done it.
There's like several quests throughout the game where you have to like run down people and say, "Yeah, give me money because you took money from us and we're not a charity," and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like some people want to go fishing, and you're like, "Yeah, let's go fishing."
Wow.
And, yeah.
Well, Colin, if you're done, I think we're good. I think we hunted.
We did.
We
you sure you don't want to get one more?
No, I don't think we have time.
Okay. Well,
everybody, this is a good time to end it, I think.
Should I give a review of the game? Like an ending score, maybe?
What is your score, Colin?
Well, after playing like 70+ hours, and, some things I liked about the game is that the mundane elements really bringing the game to life. Sometimes it's really just a mixture of all the little things. And the shooting mechanics I thought were better than the first game because
you're right.
Those were a little rough. And the camp management, I love it. The compelling story after you get past like the first 20 hours, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
There is like a weird detour later. And then like after that, like it's a lot of shooting segments if that's your kind of thing. It's my kind of thing. I enjoyed it. And it's the hyper-realism, like it appears in all of the light survival mechanics, appears a little daunting at first, and the controls take a little getting used to.
Yeah, trust me, they do.
But once you get past all of that...
You saw me kill that guy almost.
Once you get past all of that, and like you get over the hump, and you get used to all of the mechanics, it's really enjoyable, and it's like the definitive Wild West experience. And
yeah,
so,
I think I'm getting there.
So, with all of that said, I give it about a 9.5 out of 10.
Wow,
And
that's a high score.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's really good. That's all I can say.
I'm enjoying it. I've played about 5 hours.
And the hunting,
the hunting's great.
The hunting's great.
It really feels like you're hunting. It's a little hard, but hunting's hard.
It's usually like a tacked on thing that most developers put on there, but it's actually really intuitive and it's really fun. So
look at them.
And when after a hard day's work, come back to camp.
Sit the fire.
Sit and play with your friends.
Play with your friends. They're all here. I think they're somewhere.
Mr. Morgan.
And this priest that just gets drunk every day.
What does he want?
We've all done it. And you saved my life again.
I did. This was a while ago. He almost got run over by a train.
He did.
Oh, my soul. Yeah, I'd like
Sir, I'm trying to end a segment. Please leave.
I'm sorry.
You can tell him not now. Press L2.
I can't.
Oh, man.
I stole this from one
What?
of those awful men.
Sir, I'm trying to end the segment.
He's giving you
Please
money.
leave.
He's giving you money.
All right.
Except.
You're right.
Yeah, I'll take money. Thanks for the
Where's
money.
he going?
Hey, we accepted your money. Now give it to us.
Oh, I got a platinum pocket watch.
It's a watch. I wanted money.
Be well, Mr. Morgan.
Thank you.
Go to sleep.
You're right. How do we go to sleep?
And I was telling him.
Oh, well, I'm going to stand right on top of his bed, right?
Oh.
I think I broke his things. Oh, no, I broke his favorite vase.
That's for not giving us money.
Oh, well.
That's the end.
All right, on that note, I think that's about it for Red Dead Redemption. We killed an elk. We got killed. We killed some
And they took our
people.
elk.
Until next time, I'm Drew.
I'm Collin.
And until next time, I'm here in Red Dead hunting and being hunted.
Yeah.
See you next time. Hey everyone, thank you for watching this episode of Goofing Off. We'll be right back after this short break. Please stay tuned.
If you like what you see here on Goofing Off, be sure to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter.
You're watching ZTV.
So, Becca, I heard that Cameron is talking about BlizzCon.
Wait, a con? I thought that was my territory.
Becca, you have to share.
Fine. Here's Cameron talking about BlizzCon. I guess.
Hey everyone, welcome to Esports Unzipped, your hub for all things esports. My name's Karen Blend, and recently, Blizzard made some big announcements at BlizzCon. And no, it wasn't Diablo for the mobile platform. Today, I'll be talking about the new hero for Overwatch and the new set coming out in December for Hearthstone. At BlizzCon during opening ceremonies, we got to see a new animated short starring one of my favorite characters, McCree. During the short, McCree goes facing off against his former gang, the Deadlock Rebels, as he tries to get something inside of a crate. The fight goes on for some time before McCree knocks out the entire gang and ties them up and sends them on their way. He then goes to open the crate and we get our first look at Echo, an Omnic of some variety who knows McCree. And that's about the end of the short, but not the end of the announcement. Jeff Kaplan comes out and starts getting the crowd to guess who the new hero is. Everyone assumed it was Echo, but that wasn't 100% correct. Yes, Echo will be a hero at one point, but this is not that point. The new hero is the leader of the Deadlock gang, Ashe. Ashe has been on the PTR for some time, and so far, she seems really good. She has flaws, but that comes with every hero in Overwatch. Ashe was built around her weapon, and it shows in the best of ways. Everything from her kit supports her primary weapon. Her rifle has an ammo capacity of 12. When firing it from the hip, players will be able to quickly unload the entire gun into an enemy in a matter of seconds. Looking down the sight greatly reduces the firing speed, but increases accuracy as well as damage. She has the ability to throw TNT at enemies. The TNT won't do any damage on impact, but once it explodes, enemies and Ashe, if she is too close to it, will take damage from the explosion and then be set on fire for a few seconds, taking some damage over time. She also is packing her Coach gun, a powerful gun with such a recoil it sends Ashe flying backwards. And this gun can be used for mobility instead of just damage. If Ashe fires the gun at the ground, it will send her into the air, allowing her better access to certain points on the map. It's also a great way to get away from the enemy. Now, for Ashe's ultimate, she summons another hero, her trusted butler Bob, who is a large Omnic. Bob will come charging at whatever direction Ashe was facing when she called him. Bob will charge forward until he hits a wall or runs into an enemy who will then be launched into the air. After Bob charges, he will stand still and begin open fire on any enemy within line of sight. Bob has 1,200 health, so he's not impossible to defeat, but he certainly isn't easy. What makes Ashe's ultimate so unique is that whatever you can do to a hero being played by a person, you can do to Bob. For example, you could nano boost him with Ana's ultimate, sleep dart him, heal him, damage boost him, and so much more. Bob will charge indefinitely until he stops, then he will open fire for about 6 to 7.5 seconds before leaving. With the addition of Ashe and Bob, this will definitely change how a few games are played. Now, onto Hearthstone. We get to travel to Stranglethorn and see an event that happens once a generation, Rastikon's Rumble. King Rastikon calls all trolls to enter an arena and fight for honor and glory. Each hero type has a team and a troll champion. Each team has been revealed and seem to embody the feel and style of the class. Each team also represents a Loa, which are troll spirit creatures. For example, the Paladins use Shirvala, the tiger. Not only do they represent them, but they can summon them. Shirvala is a 25 cost 7/5 with Divine Shield, Rush, and Lifesteal. She also costs 1 less for each mana you spent on spells throughout the entire game. It's also possible to use her to do 25 damage to your opponent if you decide to combo her with Holy Wrath. Additionally, we get a new keyword, Overkill. If you destroy a minion with more damage than necessary, then you get to activate its Overkill ability. For example, the card Baited Arrow does 3 damage and has the Overkill ability of summoning a 5/5 Devilsaur. So let's just use Hunter's Mark on our Devilsaur egg, Baited Arrow, and then boom, that's 2 5/5 Devilsaurs by turn 6. Also, if you decide to pre-order the set, you get the card back and the Shaman skin, King Rastikon. Granted, he doesn't do anything special except add new voice lines and a nice animation to the totem summoning, but I still think it's pretty neat. There are also spirits that can be summoned that all have unique abilities, but similar abilities at the same time. All of the spirits are 0/3s with stealth for 1 turn. The Shark is the most expensive one, so they'll all be costing less than 5 mana. They will each have abilities that support the class that they fall under. For example, the Spirit of the Shark will trigger battle cries and combos twice. This is something huge for cards like Firefly, Ambush Spider, and pretty much any card that has battlecry or combo, since rogues can steal cards from any class with cards like Pickpocket, Hallucination, Blink Fox, and a metric ton of other cards. So with this set, I can see the meta being shaken up a fair bit. But what do you guys think? Will Ashe be a good hero? Will the new Hearthstone set change the way competitive games are being played, or will it just be a big flop? Why don't you let me know by tweeting me at ZTV Goofing Off, and be sure to use the hashtag esportsunzipped. Also, don't forget to tune into my talk show on 88.1 WCIP every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for even more esports talk. As always, I'm Karen Blenton, and I'll see you guys next time.
Becka, you okay? Why are you so sad? That last segment couldn't have been that bad.
Drew, I'm in mourning. Didn't you hear? Stan Lee died.
Don't worry, Becka. We'll get through this together. Here's Clayton paying homage to Old Man Marvel himself, up next on Comic Therapy.
Comic Therapy. Hello viewers, and welcome back to Comic Therapy. My name's Clayton Schrock, and sadly, this episode's going to be a little bit different. Other than talking about a specific comic book character or story, I'll be looking over the history of Stan Lee in light of his recent passing. Normally, I try to bounce between DC and Marvel themed episodes evenly, and this would be the rotation time for a DC character, but as I'm sure we all know, Stan Lee is one of, if not the biggest names in the comic industry. His role in getting comics to where they are today was monumental, and it's only appropriate that we take some time and look back at everything he's done and appreciate his work. Also, while there really was no one else like Stan Lee in the public eye, the work he did was not done alone. Therefore, I will also be talking about those he worked with throughout his life so we can fully appreciate them and their work as well. Stan Lee, born Stanley Martin Lieber on December 28, 1922, hoped to become a great American novel author, and got his first job in comics in 1939 at the then Timely Comics, which would later become Marvel Comics in the 60s. Can you believe that? Stan Lee already had a job in comics at 17 years old. I'm 22 and all I have is this show talking about comic books. That's just a joke, viewers. I love you. I love doing the show and I would never leave you. Well, actually I will leave you when I graduate, but let's not think about that. Now, Stan Lee's job at first was nothing extraordinary. He didn't create the Hulk on day one. His duties were mainly making sure artists had enough ink, he erased pencil lines, and every now and then he would proofread pages. The first comic Stan Lee made his debut in was Captain America Comics number 3. This is where he first used his pen name, Stan Lee. He did this because he was embarrassed for working on these comics, and he didn't want to be associated with them if he would later become a full-time novel author. Jumping a bit later in Stan Lee's career, it's time we look at some of our favorite characters that would not exist without him. Stan Lee co-created many characters along with the famous comic artist Jack Kirby. Some of their biggest works were the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, and the Incredible Hulk. He's also to thank for his work on creating and writing for the Galactus and Silver Surfer, Doctor Doom, the Inhumans, and Black Panther. Kirby, however, would later leave Marvel and work for DC because he was being treated unfairly and not given equal credit or creator rights. One of Stan Lee's biggest assignments was to come up with a team of superheroes that would compete with the great success DC was having with their newly created Justice League. DC's heroes were all seen as otherworldly and had powers beyond belief. Stan Lee wanted to create a team of real people with flaws and struggles in life, but also still use their gifts to fight for humanity and justice. Lee's first creation was the Fantastic Four, which did amazing in sales, and like I said earlier, led to the later creations partnering with Jack Kirby like Thor, Iron Man, Daredevil, and the X-Men. Stan Lee then later teamed up with Steve Ditko and created Doctor Strange and my favorite, Spider-Man, whose first appearance was in Amazing Fantasy 15. Steve Ditko, who also died earlier this year in June, was an artist most well known for his creating in Spider-Man. He came up with the suit design and the wrist web gimmick. He is also to thank for some of the best Spider-Man villains, including Dr. Octopus, Electro, the Sandman, the Lizard, and Green Goblin. Ditko also revamped the DC character Blue Beetle, another one of my favorites, after leaving Marvel and transferring to DC Comics. Later in Stan Lee's career, he became a main figurehead for the Marvel Comics and was in charge of more of the business side than writing. He would make many appearances in comic conventions, as well as start to pop up in TV shows and video games. He would lend his voice to many characters throughout the Spider-Man video games and cartoons, sometimes even to play himself, and later on his wife, Joanne Lee, would do the same. Of course, we can't think about Stan Lee without thinking about his famous cameos in Marvel-related movies. To many, these were over-the-top, obnoxious interruptions that took away from the movie, but to others, they were fun stand-up moments that became a little game to see who could notice the cameo first. I know that many, if not all, of the future Marvel movies that have been announced have already had their Lee cameos filmed, but it will be sad when the day comes that these will stop. Stan Lee, you did an amazing, incredible, fantastic work throughout your life. Sure, you may have been a little difficult to work with at times, and in no way was all of this success your own, but I'd be lying if I stood here and said that your work didn't impact my life. I mean, look at me. I'm on camera talking about comic books, all because I grew up loving Spider-Man. Without you, I absolutely would not be standing here doing this today. So thank you, Stan Lee. And thank you as well to Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko and so many others that have created these stories that we all love. One thing I hate about entertainment, if it's music, movies, books, or anything, is that society waits until after death to show their true appreciation for the people that make it all. I'm glad you love Stan Lee, but maybe a tweet with his name as a hashtag and a crying emoji wasn't the best place for you to post his name for the first time in your life. If you are a fan of something and you love somebody's work, let them know now. I want to take this moment to thank some of my favorite comic book authors and artists, and maybe you can do the same on social media. Thank you Brian Michael Bendis for your tear-jerking, thought-provoking, and laughter-filled stories that you make. You will always be a hero of mine. And thank you to Jeff Lemire for your life-changing work on the all-new, all-different Moon Knight series. You showed me how intense, dark, and mature comic books could really be. That will forever be one of my favorite comic series. Also, thank you to Greg Smallwood for your art in the series, something that I'm always quick to share with others. Again, please don't be afraid to share your appreciation for artists and writers right now. Don't wait until it's too late for them to see. And with that, it's time for Comic Therapy to come to an end with another Guess That Mask. Last episode, I showed you this image of Jane Frost, Thor's longtime love interest who took the role of God of Thunder in Jason Aaron's new Thor series. Look at that, we finally got to a female character. It really is harder than you'd think. Anyways, here's your next image for Guess That Mask. If you know me, then you know that this is another favorite of mine, although not for many others. If you know who it is, want to take a guess, or just want to talk about comic books with me, tweet me at ZTV Goofing Off using that hashtag Comic Therapy. My name's Clayton Schrock, and in the words of Stan Lee, Excelsior.
We'll be back after this break.
If you like what you see here on Goofing Off, be sure to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter.
You're watching ZTV.
Becka, what was your favorite Pokemon game growing up?
Does Pokemon Go count?
Becka, you've never played Pokemon as a kid?
Not exactly. So while Kyle talks about Pokemon on Animanga, I'm gonna stand over here, very confused.
Sounds like a plan. Anyway, like Becka said, here's Kyle up next on Animanga.
Hello anime and manga fans, I'm Kyle Glockner and welcome back to another episode of Animanga. I've been a fan of the Pokemon franchise ever since I played Pokemon Ruby when it first came out. Since then, I've been a huge fan of everything the franchise has put out, from the main series games, to the spin-offs, the TCG, the anime, and everything else Pokemon has to offer. But a couple years ago, I discovered a new aspect of the Pokemon franchise that's been around since the days of Red and Blue that let me see the games in a new light, one that I didn't know I needed until I found it. Today, I'll be talking about the manga series, Pokemon Adventures. Pokemon Adventures, or Pocket Monsters Special, is a manga series that gets released alongside every main series game. Each chapter follows the protagonists of that game and their adventures throughout the region. So the first chapter follows Red, Blue, and Green, while later chapters follow the adventures of Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, all the way up to the most recent games, Sun and Moon. They even make their own characters that weren't in the original games, such as Yellow and Emerald. What's really unique about Pokemon Adventures is that it doesn't tell the story you see in the anime, or even in the games for the most part. Adventures uses the events of the main series games as a guideline and adds its own twists and turns along the way. For example, in the Red and Blue chapters, certain gym leaders were actually members of Team Rocket, and Red gets an Eevee that can change between its 3 evolutions at will. I played the original games nearly 15 years ago, and reading this manga felt like a breath of fresh air to the stories I've known for so long. One of my favorite aspects of Pokemon Adventures is the way they handle the main characters. As anyone who's even looked at a Pokemon game knows, the protagonist is silent, which allows the player to self-insert, making them feel like they're the one on the adventure. In Adventures, the characters all have distinct personalities. Yes, this means that for the first time, Red actually speaks. Giving each of the protagonists a personality and dialogue really makes them spring to life as you read each chapter. To better get this point across, I'll talk about my favorite character from the series, Ruby. Ruby is the male protagonist of the Ruby and Sapphire chapter and is competing with Sapphire to see who can get all 8 gym badges first before 80 days go by. When we first meet him, he is snobby and arrogant, making sure his Pokemon look pristine and ready for Pokemon contests, as his dream is to become a contest star. We later learn that this caused Ruby and his father Norman to have a falling out over his life choices, and because of this, we get some interesting scenes when the two confront each other. But throughout the chapters, Ruby becomes humbler and reaches an understanding with Norman. They even use the Pokemon Feebas to aid Ruby's character development. Feebas is seen as one of the ugliest Pokemon, and when Ruby initially finds one, he treats it cruelly without giving it so much as a passing thought. But during a later scene when Feebas defends Ruby and is beaten, Ruby realizes that external beauty isn't everything, and internal beauty is what's really important. For the first time in Pokemon history, we see character development in our main game protagonists. I can't stress enough how satisfying it is to see these characters I've known as static, soulless sprites grow into complex characters with hopes and dreams. But it's not just Ruby. Every single character in the series has backstory and development on par with Ruby's, and it all factors into the amazing stories that Pokemon Adventures has to tell. Now, even if you haven't heard of Pokemon Adventures much until this video, you probably know a bit about it without really realizing it. Many people have heard about the Psyduck melting or the Arbok that gets cut in half. Yep, that's all from Pokemon Adventures. The story in Adventures is a lot more mature than that told in the games or in the anime. Characters get into legitimately perilous situations, and some characters even die at some points. Each chapter gives new life to the game it's based on and keeps me wanting more. It throws everything you knew about a game's story out the window and gives you something that's, in my opinion, much better. I mean, the 5th and 6th gen chapters hardly even follow the original Get the Badges narrative for their own plot, and I like it way more than the original. It offers an even more unique view on the Unova and Kalos region and their characters, which, in my opinion, was desperately needed. But speaking of the unique plot, now I'm going to talk about my favorite arcs of Pokemon Adventures, and those are the remake chapters. These are the Fire Red and Leaf Green chapters, the Heart Gold and Soul Silver chapters, and the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire chapters. You might be wondering what these chapters are about if the originals were already written at the time of the original game's release. Well, in a move that Pokemon fans have wanted for years, rather than retelling the story of the original protagonists, the remake chapters continue their stories, integrating the new features introduced with the games. And the best part? We get to see the protagonists age. That's right, Pokemon actually acknowledges that people age when time passes, and as a result, we see Red, Blue, Green, and everyone else grow older as the chapters progress, to the point where Red and Green are around 18 during the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire chapter. Oh yeah, and did I mention that older protagonists show up in the newer chapters? This is pretty much limited to the first 3 generations of protagonists, but at the end of the Emerald chapter, we have Red, Blue, Green, Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald all hanging out at the Battle Frontier. I can't even begin to describe how awesome it was to see Gold and Crystal show up in the Emerald chapter to help save the day, or when Red and Green showed up out of nowhere in the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire chapter. Going back to the protagonist for just a moment, something that I feel is important to point out is the importance of the Pokédex. As players of the games know, the Pokédex is given to you and your rivals when you start your journey and could be considered one of the most vital tools on your journey, cataloging and sorting all 800 plus Pokemon. But the games don't do a very good job of conveying the significance of the Pokédex in my opinion. I always just kind of took it for granted when I got it, and sometimes I never even touched it. In Pokemon Adventures, the Pokédex's importance is made much clearer than in the games. Each protagonist gets one, yes, but there is much more significance to receiving one in the manga than in the game. Rather than just being a tool used to categorize Pokemon, those who hold a Pokédex are special, earning a title befitting their style of raising Pokemon. For example, Red is known as the Fighter due to his unrivaled skill as a battler, while Diamond is known as the Empathizer due to his bond with the Lake Guardian Mesprit. These titles make the Pokédex and those who own one seem so much more significant than the games make them out to be, and really separates each protagonist from being just another trainer. Some of these titles are battle related, but some are more support based, such as Yellow's title as the Healer or Emerald's title as the Calmer. This brings so much diversity to the way characters use Pokemon and allows the story to take turns that would be impossible in the main games where battling is everything. Now you might be wondering, if Pokemon Adventures is so amazing, why haven't we gotten an anime about it yet? And unfortunately, there isn't really an answer to that question. There isn't really any word on if there will be an adaptation of the Pokemon Adventures manga, but I have a feeling one could be coming in the near future. If we take a look at the Pokemon franchise in the past couple years, we have things such as the 4-part series Pokemon Origins, the Pokemon Generation shorts, the recent movies that retell the events of the anime, and even the slightly more mature tones taken in the Pokemon X and Y anime and the games themselves. Based on how the franchise as a whole seems to be okay with the idea of looking back on its origins and taking a more mature route in its storytelling, I think it would be entirely possible to see an Adventures adaptation in the coming years. The only thing I see as a hindrance is the current Pokemon anime. Origins was a short project that was released all at once, and Generations was an even smaller project that went in line with the franchise's 20th anniversary. Pokemon's never really had 2 anime projects airing simultaneously, except for Chronicles, but that was more of a spin-off of the airing Pokemon anime. For them to make a new series out of nowhere would be something that I don't really see them doing. Overall, Pokemon Adventures is one of my favorite manga series of all time. Being based on one of my favorite game franchises, and in my opinion only improving its story, it wasn't a hard choice for me when ranking it as one of my favorites. Most of the series is available in English and can be found at most bookstores, so go out and give the series a shot. You won't regret it. Pokemon Adventures has been running since March of 1997 and was written by Hidenori Kusaka and illustrated by Mato in volumes 1 through 9 and Satoshi Yamamoto from volumes 10 on. There are currently 53 volumes, so it'll keep you entertained for quite a bit. But that's all the time I have for today, so let me know what you think by tweeting me at ZTV Goofing Off with the hashtag Animanga. Until then, I'm Kyle Glockner, and this has been Animanga.
It's like the old saying goes, thank you so much for watching Goofing Off. We'll be right back after this short break. Please stay tuned.
If you like what you see here on Goofing Off, be sure to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter.
You're watching ZTV.
So Matt's talking about Overlord today?
Wait, I thought Kyle was the only one allowed to talk about anime.
No. Matt's talking about a World War II movie, not an anime. Remember the last time someone tried to talk about an anime?
Yeah, I haven't seen Sunshine ever since he tried. Anyway, here's Matt with Movie Snobs.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Movie Snobs. My name is Matt Reed, and today I want to talk about a movie that I was extremely excited to see from the moment I saw the first trailer. This time, I will be conquering Overlord. Before I go on, I do want to mention that this movie is still in theaters at the time I'm filming this, and it is rated R, so you have been warned for both spoilers and content. Overlord is an action horror mystery flick that masquerades as a gritty World War II action film with a dash of zombies and sci-fi scares that kept this movie a thrill for all involved. The movie flew higher than my expectations, and in the next few minutes I'm going to tell you why. Overlord opens with a small introduction to our main characters through friendly soldier banter as they prepare for perhaps the most notorious invasion of France in history, D-Day. This movie starts with some incredible visuals, showcasing the scale of the US forces participating. The visuals continue throughout the entire picture, not leaning on the more commonly used grayish tones for gritty war pictures, but instead, colorful palettes with darker lighting when necessary. Coinciding with the visuals was the musical score. The moments of tension and action and even horror are only as impactful as they are coupled with the music. Some of the scariest moments, I was on the edge of my seat hearing the backwards violin that just made me squirm, knowing that there was a horrific moment in tow, but not quite knowing what exactly to expect. The score also takes on the tension and the heat of battle, using a much more amped up set of drums and other instruments in order to push the conflict further, and this eliminates any impatience that I usually have during my watching of movies when they are trying to draw out a moment. The horror is something that I want to touch on in more depth. I usually don't go in for horror movies much. To me, they seem predictable and they tend to walk the same line of jump scares and horrific images. But Overlord crossed the line instead of following it. There were moments where me and my friends audibly swore like sailors and cringed in our seats. And I think that if a movie can get an audience to have a physical reaction to its content, then it succeeds in the horror genre. Another thing that I took note of in this movie was the excellent casting. When I was describing the movie to someone, spoiler-free I might add, they asked who was in it, to which I replied with the fact that I simply didn't recognize anyone from this movie. Now, I have noticed that many people judge movies based on star power, at least before they actually see it. While I only actually ended up recognizing 2 people in this, the casting was still incredible. There wasn't a single moment where the acting was unbelievable, and I was completely convinced these actors would pass as people on screen in real life. The action is somewhat of a must for me to talk about at this point. And even though this was a horror movie, it never shied away from the powerful combat scenes. The action in this was enticing. There was never a dull moment, and the second that they got close to a drawn-out moment, something upsets the flow of the scene and keeps you on your toes. There were a few long, continuous shots which I am a huge fan of, and they were pulled off with style. The last part about this that stood out was the plot. The plot in this movie was littered with dangerous elements that easily could have been botched. Thankfully, they were pulled off, weaving together sci-fi and historic elements of the story that didn't leave behind too many plot holes so that they took away from the main saga's end. Now that I've gone into the detail about the positives of this movie, I will touch on the very few negatives of this movie to round out my review. The thing about this movie that I have mentioned before was some of the plot holes that they left off with. Sometimes things fell into place on sheer luck alone. Well, I've mentioned in previous reviews that I despise stories that do that. It wasn't that jarring that I had to stop myself from liking this one. Well, here we are at the end. Maybe not the end of World War II movies or zombie movies, but the end of my review. And in the end, I must give this a 9 out of 10. Overlord came, it saw, and it conquered as one of the overlords of my great movie list. If you have any questions or thoughts or differing opinions, feel free to let me know by tweeting me at ZTVGoofingOff using the hashtag MovieSnobs. Once again, thank you for tuning into the show. My name is Matt Reed. I'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for watching.
Drew, stop! Well, this is literally the same break over and over again.
Becka, you're right.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching Goofing Off. We'll be right back after this short break. Please stay tuned.
If you like what you see here on Goofing Off, be sure to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter.
You're watching ZTV.
Hey Drew, I kind of went brain dead there for a second. Which segment is next?
Becka, it's literally your segment.
Is it really? Huh, that's weird.
Yikes, it's almost like you went into zombie mode for a second.
Drew, you have no idea. Anyway, let's use this to segue into Create Your Character, coming up next. What's up, nerds? I'm Becka Tyler. Welcome to another episode of Create Your Character. Recently, our producer with a PhD in anime, Kyle Glockner, has been bugging me about watching a relatively new anime called Zombieland Saga. I kept putting it off for a while, but I was finally able to get into it. It's pretty great, not gonna lie. So I figured I would put together a cosplay to celebrate. In this episode of Create Your Character, I will be going over how to create a simple yet effective cosplay for the legendary Yamada Tai. But enough of my talking, let's head to the drawing board. To start off this look, I'm going to be starting with a plain long-sleeve black dress, knee-high gray socks, and plain black flats. Yamada normally has a white rope-like belt cinching her waist, so I'm going to be cutting some of this craft rope and tie it around my waist. Another prominent part of her character is her bandages, which are wrapped around her neck and chest, so I'm going to be taking some bandage wraps and doing the same thing. Just make sure to not wrap it too tight since this is your neck we're talking about. You know, the thing which helps transport oxygen to your lungs. After that's all done, the wig is next. This is just a simple long black wig with straight across bangs with one long hair in the middle of them, and two shorter pieces on each side that low-key make me look like a gender-bent Severus Snape, but I digress. Since the shorter pieces on Yamada stick out a little, I'm going to be going in with a flat iron to make mine stand out a little bit more. Make sure that your wig is heat resistant before continuing with this step. For the face, all you will need is red contact lenses, gray or black face paint, and gray face powder. Before applying any face paint, put in your contact lenses to avoid them getting dirty. When applying the face paint, if you're using gray, you can apply it directly to your face with no problem. But if you're like me, who ran out of gray face paint, or you just don't have it to begin with, you can take black face paint and smudge it out to make it look gray. So that's what I'm going to be doing all over my face. I'm going to be applying a little bit more black around my eyes to give them a more sunken in look. After the face paint is all done, you can go ahead and set it with that gray face powder. You can use a regular translucent powder if you want to, but I chose to do gray since this is already a very gray look. And to finish off the look, put on a cold, dead expression and act like there's nothing in the world that you care about. Well, that's all I have for this character. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or are dying to see a certain character, don't be afraid to tweet me at ZTVGoofingOff with the hashtag CreateYourCharacter. Until next time, remember, I'm Becca Tyler, and I'll see you the next time around on Create Your Character. Drew, are you sleeping? Drew, wake up, we have to end the episode! Well, looks like this is the end of this episode of Goofing Off. Until next time—
Remember to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube. I'm Drew Brown, and I never miss a social media listing.
And I'm a very confused but slightly relieved Becca Tyler. Thank you for taking the time to goof off with us. Move to centimeter.
I go for it.
All right.
Okay. Wait a minute. I thought Kyle was...
What?
I did like a JoJo pose. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Wait.
The eye of the wicked lord.
Wait. Hold on. My finger is in my mouth.
Wait. Okay.
All right. Kazoo.
Okay. Ouch. I got whacked.
Oh.
Hello.
Leave.
Anime. Well, Becca, I really wish someone would talk about BlizzCon.
You're in luck, Drew.
You're in luck, Chief. BlizzCon. All right. Okay.
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. To find out how you can make Emmy-winning media, visit the UA School of Communication online. ZTV. Make media. Make a difference.